I wanted to address this whole illegal immigrants on Medicaid thing because it continues to be a problem in the federal government shutdown. What is happening in the media is it would be hilarious if it didn't have the actual implications that it does have. Um, this I thought was freaking fascinating. ABC News, who I think their main news guy is George Snuffleupagus, whatever his name is, who remember ran Bill Clinton's campaign and was the lead Bill Clinton defender. And when any woman decided they were going to accuse Bill Clinton of things that he probably did, it was George Stephanopoulos' job to ruin that woman's life. So, upstanding moral citizen we've got there running over ABC News. But ABC News put out this story in response to the idea that illegals are getting health care, and this is just a Republican and conservative lie. They're not getting health care. The article was entitled Emergency Medicaid for Undocumented Immigrants Accounts for Less than 1% of State Spending, a study finds. Emergency spending for illegal immigrants on Medicaid amounted to just about $9.63 per resident. Emergency Medicaid for undocumented immigrants, I call them illegals, made up for only 0.4% of total Medicaid spending, a new study finds. I'll get to the kicker in just a very quick second, but we already did this story last week, where last year alone, the illegals that were bused to New York City, which again was the best political stunt that I've ever seen. Like, political stunts are usually made to prove a point. This actually proved the point exactly to what the Governor DeSantis and Governor Abbott were trying to do, which was hilarious, but that's a conversation for a different time. We already covered the story that after they did that, 25% of emergency room visits were for illegal immigrants. So how does this statistic that only 0.4% of hospital bills or emergency Medicaid was covered for illegal immigrants? Well, that's because buried in the article that ABC News released that tries to skew people to one side or the other, they mentioned, oh, these are numbers from 2022. Oh, so like right after President Trump was in office and the border was effectively closed, and right before Joe Biden let several million people into the country. Oh, so that's where those numbers are for. Interesting. Wow, ABC News. I wonder if you meant to do that or you just were trying to lie and omit certain facts in such a way that would lead the viewer to think something that is the opposite of the truth. What's also interesting is further down in this ABC article, they accidentally say the real thing that's going on because, the article is prefaced with, well, this actually isn't a problem. Illegal immigrants on Medicaid isn't an issue that we have to worry about because, look, it's less than 1% of overall Medicaid emergency spending. But they do note that the authors of all of the federal shutdown bills that they're trying to resolve the government and get it back open, proposed in the 2025 budget would save little and harm states with large proportions of undocumented immigrants. Okay, wait, so are they not using it, or is taking it away going to harm them? Again, those two things don't square in the way that you might think they do, because either they're not using it and therefore having it go away, well, that wouldn't really be a problem, or they are using it a lot, which is opposite of what the headline in the story is premised on, and taking it away would really, really disproportionately harm illegal immigrants. They go on. Additionally, the cuts would disproportionately harm safety net hospitals and clinicians caring for immigrant communities. So what are we talking about here, ABC News? Like, I'm trying to get through to how this makes sense really in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, and I don't want to be too repetitive here, are these cuts to illegals getting healthcare, which again, by the way, they aren't doing, according to Senator Schumer and many others on the lib side, are the cuts either going to hurt the illegal immigrant community because they're being taken away, which again, they're not using, or are they not using them and therefore the cuts that are being proposed not really going to have any effect? You can't have it both ways, libs, and specifically ABC News, which again is run by the guy who ruined women's lives, who accused Bill Clinton of sexually assaulting them. You can't have it both ways.